The reason I got on here today is because, I get so many people hit me up and they're super discouraged because the people that they think should support them, that should be their biggest supporters, turn out not to be. And, for the most part, it's the people closest to you. It's the ones that maybe you supported. It's the ones that that you expect to because they're your friends or your family. It's the ones that you have the most love for, that sometimes support you the least. I want to be clear. I definitely want to be clear right now. I'm not talking about supporting you and doing negative things. I'm not talking about supporting you and doing things that aren't really good for your life. And you know that, right? Because nobody should support that. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you doing something that is meaningful to the world. It's purposeful. It's going to help lives. It's just going to better whatever is around you that you're doing. And I could talk about a lot tonight, but I really want to break it down to one simple root issue. I could talk about the branches that go to this root issue. Like, some people will not support you just out of protection for you. All right. They think they're actually protecting you. And so, a lot of us deal with this with our parents at times, right? You want to go do something with your life, but they don't fully support it because luckily I have parents that supported me. But for the most part, a lot of people don't, because they don't want to see you mess up. They think they know what's best for you, or some friends think they know what's best for you, and they're doing it out of protection, right? So you have those people. You have the people that do it, not support you out of jealousy, because you coming from the same environment as them, you coming from the same opportunity as them, and you going and doing something with your life just reminds them of where they're at and what they're not doing. So some people get very uncomfortable with your greatness, get very uncomfortable with your talents and gifts, because they're kind of afraid that you might leave them behind. And, you also have the people who do it because of their impossibilities. I'm going to kind of touch on this a little bit later on, but you have their impossibilities. So they've never done it, right? It seems impossible to them. When I told people I would be a speaker, once I realized this was the will for my life, and I told people, I feel like God's going to take me across the world doing this. I'm going to reach so many people doing it. To a lot of people that sounded crazy because they never did it before. When I played football and I told people that I would make it to the NFL, coming up in high school and college, a lot of people looked at me crazy because they never done it before. So a lot of people will place their impossibilities on your life. But what I really want to focus on today, and I think this will really help you out, for those out there that have visions, for those that have dreams, for those that start businesses, for those that, want to do something with their life and they're looking for support, but they're not getting it from the people around them. So they start to feel discouraged. They start to feel stressed. They start to say, well, maybe this isn't for me. Nobody sees my vision. For one, it's not up to them to see your vision. God gave it to you for a reason. It's not up for them to see it. Understand that. They're not required to see it because God didn't give it to them. If God would have gave it to them, then that's a different story. So you have certain people around you, and this is just some people. This is not all. This is just some. You have some people that actually see your greatness and actually will support you, actually will speak into your life before you even know it. That definitely happened to me. But the root issue that I want to talk about today, and it might seem pretty, it might seem different, but I really want you to stick with me tonight and really listen to this. But a lot of people won't support you because they're too close to you. So when you're too close, and I'm going to read different quotes that I wrote down so I can talk about each one. When somebody's too close, when you're too close to them for them to see your greatness, the closer people are to you, the harder it is to see the light inside you. But if I put this up to the camera right now, right? Some of you might can tell what this is, but for some of you, you don't know what this is, right? You can't see the worth in this. But if I was to back up just a little bit and get further away from you, you would see it's a $20 bill, right? And you would see that it has worth. A lot of times people can't see your worth and your value because they're too close to you, right? You're too familiar with them. And just to be real with you, you're normal to them at best, right? You're normal to them at best. And in their eyes, quote unquote, normal people can't do great things. They can't do great things. They're too familiar with you to believe in you. And so that's why a lot of times you will have strangers that will support you more than the people around you, because to them, you're just their son. You're just their daughter. You're just the person you went to high school with. You're just their friend. You hear that a lot. That's just whoever. That's just Mary. That's just Michael. That's just whatever. And they hold you to that, and they can't see your greatness, because people think that greatness is something that they can't know too well. And for a lot of times, people can't see greatness because they can't see greatness in themselves. So how can you expect somebody who doesn't see greatness in themselves or believe in their own greatness to see greatness in you? You know, so you're too close for your greatness, your wisdom, and your talents to be respected. You know, they just see you as just you, not for who you truly have become. And so I want you to really, really grab that and understand that. You know, it's hard to break identities when people have identified you as someone. You know, when people have labeled you as something or someone, it's very hard to break perceptions. So who you are to some people is who you will ever be until it becomes popular to support you for who you become. And that's when people start to support you, when the strangers and other people start to support you, because then it's the cool thing to do. You know, and then it's cool to jump on the bandwagon. Then it's cool to say, well, I did know this person. I did believe in you and things like that. But you have to realize when you're close to them, it's very, very hard for them to see your greatness. You have to understand this. Some people will never be able to accept your greatness, but some people will never be able to see your greatness because they've already identified you by their flaws. And so it's very hard to become more to a person that's already committed to seeing you as less. And so they're locked in to who you used to be. And when you talk about strangers, see, the thing when I talk about strangers is that strangers have nothing to block their vision of your greatness. All they see is your talent. You know, they don't know you. They don't have nothing that's blinding them, nothing that gets in the way. But when it's people that you know, it's so many things that can get in the way, right? It could be their own personal problems. It could be their personal experiences with you. It could be the perceptions that they have of you. It could be your past. It could be all these things. So even if they wanted to see your greatness, every time they start to see it, they're reminded of, okay, who you used to be, or they're reminded, oh, that's just whoever, you know, because we think that it's funny because even if you ask somebody who has a business, they'll tell you, I'm sure, that they get supported more by strangers than they do by their own people. And it's crazy to me that somebody will support somebody that they don't know. And I'll even relate it to this. And a lot of you guys can identify with this. Have you ever heard somebody, and I get this all the time when I'm coaching my kids or when I'm talking to people, they'll be like, I get a dad that comes up to me and say, Trent, you told my kid the same thing I told him, but he will listen to you because you're you, and he won't listen to me because I'm too close. And a lot of times what we do is that we write off people's wisdom. We write off people's knowledge. We write off people's gifts. We write off people's talents just because we're familiar with those people. Just because they came up next to us, because we think greatness is something that should be not around us. We think greatness is only for those that are celebrities. We think greatness, and that's what celebrity is. Understand that celebrity is just somebody that you don't know. Because anybody that you know for a long time, I don't care how great they are, they won't be a celebrity to you. Barack Obama is not a celebrity to his family. You know, whoever else, Beyonce is not a celebrity to her sisters, or whoever you want to say. You're only a celebrity to people that you don't know. So the more people are familiar with you, the harder it is for them to see their greatness. Just a stat that I've made up, but I really think it's true. 95% of your support will be from people that you don't know, because there's nothing to blind them from seeing how great you truly are. That's why I said in my friends video, if you listen to it, I said, support doesn't always come from familiar faces. But God will place strangers in your life to take you to higher places. And I truly mean that. And the reason I want to make this video is because I see so many people focusing on trying to win people over, focusing on trying to make people support them, focusing on trying to make people see their vision. And I want to let you know, like, no ill intent towards them or no disrespect towards them, but you don't need them You don't need them to be great. You don't need them to validate you. All you need to do is focus on your vision, focus on your purpose, focus on your talents. And I promise you, the right people who will support you, they will. They will come in your life. They will see you for everything that you are. And so sometimes we sit there and we spend all our energy trying to convince people that we're great to people that probably will never see that until other people see it, until other people validate it. So I want you to understand that. And some people that are close to you are too insecure to support you because their growth is reminding them of where they're still at and what they don't have. You know, every time somebody gets around you, you're going hard, you're pushing, and they become jealous. Jealousy is simply this: when something you have reminds somebody of what they don't have, or when something you're doing is reminding somebody of what they're not doing. And so I want you to get that and understand that and digest that, and don't let that deter you from your mission. Don't let that deter you from your vision. Don't let that make you give up because people close to you don't support you. And I get it. I know that you want it, but you have to understand their support is not needed. Even though you want it, even though it would be nice, their support is not needed for you to be successful. I mean, even if you take it biblically, Jesus talks about how, the Bible talks about how he wasn't respected in his own town. He wasn't accepted in his own town. And it's so true. It happens. You know, I get great support in Fort Worth. Nothing against Fort Worth. I get great support. I get great support on, you know, all around from people that I know, people close to me support me because I don't want nobody hitting me up and say, I'll support you and I'm close to you. It's a lot of people in my life that have supported me from the get-go that are really close to me. But it's also a lot of people that didn't support me that I expected them to. You know, even on my personal pages on Facebook, the people that know me directly will sometimes support me the least. And that's just what it is. Even if I put out a challenge, even if I put out to come work out, even if I put out to help people, even if I put out an event, the people that I know directly sometimes will support me the least. And why? I don't know their reason. Maybe it's because they're close to me. Maybe it's something I've done to them in my past. You know, maybe I didn't do something they liked. Maybe they're insecure. I don't know. But I can't worry about who's not supporting me because that's moving backwards. You can't worry about who's not riding with you. You can't worry about who doesn't have your back. You got to focus on your mission and your vision, because if you stay focused on that, you ain't going to get nowhere. And there's a world of people that need your talent. There's a world of people that need your business. There's a world of people that need your wisdom. There's a world of people that need you. And it doesn't make those people who don't support you bad people. They have their reasons. They do. And like I said, when it's impossible for somebody, when somebody has never done it, when somebody doesn't understand it, they're not going to support it because they don't take the time to understand it. To the people out there that are those people, like, take a step back. Like when I talked about this $20 bill, take a step back, right? And let go of all those identities and just see that person's greatness. See what they're doing. Support them first. Like, the world shouldn't have to validate them for you to respect them or accept them, especially when you're in their life, especially when it's somebody that you love, especially when it's somebody that you know. Like, don't be the last person to support them. Don't jump on. Don't do it when it's popular. Don't do it when it's cool. Support them when they first came up with the vision. Support them when they first came up with the idea. Support them when they first started the business. Do that, because at the end of the day, you would want it too. And just because they're doing something that you might not agree with, I'm not saying support people that go against your standards or your morals or your values. I'm not. But somebody who's doing something that you might not agree with because you think that it's impossible, or you think that it's unachievable, or you think that's unreachable, they can't reach that. Don't let that hinder you from supporting them, because you don't know what God has for them. You don't know the journey. You don't know the road that God has set up for them. You don't at all. And all they might need is a little encouragement. You got it. You can do it. And don't let the lack of support stop you from doing what God has called you to do. All right, let's get it.